know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are. Blue Ivy is not Jay-Z's child. Ty Smith is. It was a financial arrangement, and it worked out.
What Jay-Z's ex-bodyguard just revealed has the whole industry spinning. He swore this was the truth they wanted buried forever. And trust me, it's insane. Ty Smith, Jay-Z's longtime partner in crime and business, didn't only hand him loyalty, according to Uncle Ron. He claims Ty handed Jay something far more shocking. He handed him Blue Ivy.
My kiss, after he done grief.
But not long after Uncle Ron dropped that shocking truth, he was found dead. Just like that, gone. People are saying his death timing was way too suspicious.
Beyoncé and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against him.
The bodyguard who once guarded all their secrets ended up turning into the biggest secret himself. Now let's dive in. Long before Blue Ivy's first cry, before the Grammys, billion-dollar deals, and flashy red carpets, there was Brooklyn. Two young hustlers on Marcy Avenue, chasing cash, dodging chaos, and building a bond tough enough to outlast feds, street wars, and the rise from corner dealers to full-blown cultural kings. Jay-Z and Ty Smith weren't just friends, they were soldiers of the same grind. Survivors of a world that ate most alive and spat them straight out.
And then I would go out in the street and I would try these raps out and have little battles in the street. And Tata, who's sitting there, I would go to Tata and be like, yo, I'm the best, I'm telling you, I'm the greatest.
Ty wasn't just backing Jay-Z in his street days. He was the lieutenant, the muscle, the one who made sure every mess got cleaned up. When gunfire broke out or the feds started circling, Ty was right there, standing between Jay and danger. When rivals like Jim Jones tried to drag Jay's name through the dirt, Ty didn't talk, he acted. And when R. Kelly had the nerve to disrespect the throne, things got real. Ty made sure consequences were served. This wasn't some casual friendship. This was blood-level loyalty, forged in fire and tested by fame. Most crumble when the streets turn into stardom, but not them. Even when Jay-Z rose to global icon status and Ty stayed behind the scenes, their connection only got stronger. So when Jay needed someone to take charge of Def Jam's operations, guess who stepped right up? Ty. When Rock Nation took off and needed a steady right hand, Ty was right there. He even helped steer stars like Rihanna, Whale, and Neo through the madness of fame. The man was a silent powerhouse. But the real jaw-dropper hit in 2018 when Jay-Z dropped Friends with Beyoncé, and those lyrics hinted that Ty's loyalty went way deeper than anyone ever guessed. Care after he done grieving. Those lyrics held way more weight than fans ever caught. Jay-Z wasn't just name-dropping his circle. He was crowning Ty as the guardian of everything he valued most. By saying Ty's name like that, he was sealing his place as the protector of the entire Carter legacy. That Godfather title wasn't just for flair, it carried real power. Ty wasn't just hanging around for studio vibes or business deals. He was inside the Carter home, living like family. Private dinners, secret getaways, and off-camera moments reserved only for the chosen few. Ty was always there. His son, River, even played with Blue Ivy like real siblings, not just family friends. Their bond ran so deep, outsiders started whispering that Ty was practically part of the family. And standing silently in the shadows through it all was Uncle Ron, Jay-Z and Beyoncé's bodyguard, the man who saw everything. He had a front row seat to moments the world never even imagined. And what he observed started raising serious eyebrows. Uncle Ron noticed how Blue Ivy lit up around Ty, how her smile grew wider, her chatter louder, like she felt some deeper unspoken connection than just a godparent's bond. At first, Uncle Ron shrugged it off. Godparents often get close to their godkids, especially when they're around as much as Ty was. But as Blue Ivy got older, things started to look different. The resemblance between her and Ty became impossible to unsee. Uncle Ron began piecing together clues that painted a completely different story. one that could destroy the Carter image forever. He started to realize that maybe, just maybe, he hadn't been protecting the family's privacy at all. He'd been protecting their biggest secret. Tai Tai's godfather role was the perfect disguise. His non-stop presence around Blue Ivy could easily be brushed off as loyalty. But Uncle Ron claimed there were moments that hinted at something much more personal. Then came the jaw-dropper. Uncle Ron said the resemblance was impossible to deny. The way Blue Ivy moved, her expressions, even her tiny habits all mirrored Tai Tai, not Jay-Z. Uncle Ron claimed he spent years quietly stitching together every clue. And when he finally finished, his explosive conclusion hinted that Blue Ivy's birth certificate might only tell half the truth. Behind it, there was a secret arrangement that flipped everything upside down. Jay-Z went from rapper to dynasty architect, Beyoncé from performer to cultural queen, and Tai Tai Smith from loyal best friend to hidden biological father. In Uncle Ron's own words, it was a financial setup that benefited them all, but one built on a secret the world was never meant to uncover.
Blue Ivy is not Jay-Z's child. Tai Tai Smith is. It was a financial arrangement, and it worked out for him.
By 2011, Jay-Z and Beyoncé had already conquered the game. They weren't just artists anymore, they were walking empires. But there was still one thing missing. Something that would cement their place as music's ultimate power couple. Money, fame, and trophies could only reach so far. If they wanted legacy, they needed blood, an heir to the Carter throne. So when Blue Ivy was born, on January 7, 2012, it wasn't just a birth, it was a full-blown production. The entire fourth floor of Lenox Hill Hospital in New York was locked down like a classified mission. Security was tighter than a presidential escort, and the media rollout was flawless, staged, polished, and perfectly controlled. Every photo, every statement, every leak was handled like a royal proclamation. According to Uncle Ron, this wasn't about celebrity privacy, it was a full-scale cover-up operation. He claimed the lockdown wasn't about shielding a newborn from paparazzi, it was about concealing a business deal that couldn't survive public scrutiny. Only a chosen few were granted access to the delivery suite. Every document was sealed, and hospital staff were vetted like they were entering a classified facility. The way Uncle Ron described it, the money behind the operation was massive. Jay-Z got exactly what he wanted, an heir to lock in his image as the devoted father and dynasty architect. Beyoncé got to hold on to her queen status without pausing her career or fading from the spotlight. And Tai Tai, he allegedly walked away with life-changing money and a permanent seat inside the Carter empire. But this wasn't just about cash or control. This arrangement supposedly patched up everything that was beginning to crumble in their public image. By 2011, whispers were already swirling about Jay and Bey's marriage, rumors of cheating, business tension, and emotional distance. Their flawless power couple image was starting to wobble. Then out of nowhere, Blue Ivy arrived, and just like that, every doubt vanished. The world was convinced their love had never been stronger, and the Carter legacy was reborn through one little girl. Uncle Ron claimed the plan went far beyond biology. Every detail of Blue Ivy's existence, the timing, the reveal, even her appearances, was meticulously staged to keep the illusion sealed tight forever. Tai Tai's title as Blue Ivy's official godfather gave him the perfect disguise. It justified why he was always around, why he popped up at every family event, and why no one ever questioned it. His position at Rock Nation made it effortless to stay close to Blue Ivy's growth in the spotlight. And his lifelong bond with Jay-Z made their connection seem genuine, not questionable. But according to Uncle Ron, the evidence was right there from day one. Blue Ivy's facial features, her eyes, her bone structure, even her smile had fans whispering she resembled Tai Tai more than Jay-Z. Still, the media dismissed it as genetics or just a close godparent bond. But Uncle Ron wasn't convinced. He said he'd witnessed private moments that didn't match the public story, hush talks between Jay-Z and Tai Tai about arrangements and agreements that sounded way deeper than business. Personal exchanges between Tai Tai and Blue Ivy. Connection that went far past a godfather's affection, showing a comfort and closeness that hinted at something far deeper. And when it came to money, Uncle Ron claimed he overheard conversations that sounded more like payments than gestures of generosity. The most explosive part of Uncle Ron's revelation wasn't just his claim that Jay-Z might not be Blue Ivy's biological father. It was what that claim implied. If true, it meant Blue Ivy's very existence wasn't born from love or timing, but a meticulously engineered business plan, a deal built to protect every image and keep the Carter dynasty untouchable. In this alleged setup, everyone walked away a winner. Jay-Z secured his heir without the risks of a traditional pregnancy. Beyoncé kept her career blazing, free from breaks that could have slowed her reign. Ty gained lifelong stability and a permanent seat inside the Carter empire. And Blue Ivy, she entered the world already crowned by the spotlight. Raised as hip-hop royalty, destined for power and privilege since day one. But secrets that massive never stay buried, especially when money, fame, and pride collide. Uncle Ron's decision to speak up was the first fracture in the wall of silence surrounding the Carters. And when Blue Ivy made history at just 9, becoming one of the youngest Grammy winners ever for Brown Skin Girl, the world cheered her as music's little princess. Yet behind the applause, Uncle Ron insisted, hid a truth the world wasn't ready to handle. But Blue Ivy's major win didn't come drama-free. The second she grabbed that Grammy, the internet went wild. Was it pure talent or Hollywood privilege? Blue Ivy Carter was just 9 years and 66 days old when she won Best Music Video as a featured artist on Beyoncé's Brown Skin Girl at the 63rd Annual Grammys in March 2021. The record hit instantly, youngest individually credited Grammy winner in history. Not everyone was cheering. Critics argued it wasn't talent, it was branding. They claimed the win was a calculated move to lock Blue Ivy's image as entertainment royalty before she could even grasp her own fame. And this wasn't her first piece of gold either. At just 8, she'd already snagged a BET Her Award, making her the youngest winner in the show's 20-year history. Then came a Soul Train Music Award and even an NAACP Image Award, all before she even hit double digits. By 9, Blue Ivy had more trophies than artists who'd been hustling for decades. The machine built around her was unstoppable. Even Time magazine crowned her the most famous baby in the world just 2 days after she was born. Her very first cries were featured on Jay-Z's 2012 track Glory, earning her a Guinness World Record before she could even walk, the youngest person ever credited on a Billboard chart. From day one, Blue Ivy was molded for stardom. But as she's grown, it's her attitude that's stealing the spotlight. She moves like she owns every room she steps into, confident, bold, untouchable. Some say it's natural grace, but others whisper she's being raised in a world where no simply doesn't exist. With access to luxuries most adults can't even dream of, Blue Ivy's childhood already feels more like a billionaire's masterclass in fame than a kid's fairy tale. Back with us in the Bay, live at Chase Center tonight.
Back with us in the Bay and here at Chase Center tonight, 24-time Grammy Award winner, the one and only Jay-Z!
Did you catch how embarrassed she looked? That was the face of a kid trapped between fame and normalcy. Someone raised under blinding lights yet still real enough to cringe at her dad's moves. But let's be honest, when your parents are sitting on nearly $2 billion, a little embarrassment might just be the biggest problem you'll ever face. That wild family fortune might explain why Blue Ivy is reportedly worth around $500 million. Yes, $500 million. That's more than some Fortune 500 companies clear in profits. And with that kind of money, her hobbies hit a whole different level, the kind that make elite art collectors look broke. One unforgettable example, the 2018 Wearable Art Gala. 6-year-old Blue Ivy walked into that room and turned a charity auction into her personal battlefield. She went toe-to-toe with Tyler Perry in a bidding war that left the entire industry stunned. First, she threw down $17,000 on an acrylic painting of Sidney Poitier, then casually bumped it to $19,000 when Perry countered with $18,000. Meanwhile, Jay-Z was literally trying to pull her paddle down like, baby chill. But Blue wasn't having it, she was locked in, fearless. Tyler Perry finally sealed the bid at $20,000, But Little Miss Carter wasn't finished yet. She spun right back around and threw another $10,000 on a different piece, an artwork crafted from deconstructed law and medical books. At just 6 years old, she had dropped nearly $30,000 on art like it was nothing but pocket change. Later, Tyler Perry laughed about it on the Today Show, saying, "Somebody else was bidding against me, and I didn't know who it was. I look over and it's her. She's taking the paddle right out of Jay's and Beyoncé's hands, and she's bidding." That moment wasn't just. Confidence didn't stop there. That same year, she started becoming a fixture at exclusive events, sitting front row at the Grammys, side-eyeing grown celebrities like she ran the show. Every expression, every move turned into a meme. It was clear, Blue Ivy wasn't just Jay-Z and Beyoncé's daughter anymore. She was becoming a brand of her own. The crowd went crazy. Cameras flashed, jaws dropped, everyone watched as Blue Ivy, calm as ever, raised her paddle like she was buying snacks at the mall. The room couldn't believe it. Even Beyoncé laughed in disbelief while Jay-Z just shook his head, knowing there was no stopping his daughter now. Though another guest eventually won the earrings, that moment sealed it. Blue Ivy had officially inherited her parents' taste for luxury, power, and making statements that money can't ignore. Blue Ivy was more than just a kid enjoying a night out, she was being trained for power. Star said, "You can tell that child knows her worth. She walks like she's already a CEO." And honestly, she wasn't lying. Every move Blue makes feels intentional, almost rehearsed. From her calm poise at high-end events to how the media now calls her a young mogul in the making, it's clear, this isn't your average celebrity kid story. This is a dynasty in motion. Empire her parents built from scratch. Every gala, every public appearance, every headline, it's all part of a master plan. Jay-Z and Beyoncé aren't just raising a daughter, they're shaping a legacy. From learning art investment before middle school to understanding brand power before most kids learn algebra, Blue Ivy's education isn't in textbooks, it's in boardrooms and backstage passes. She's not being raised to follow fame. She's being prepared to own it. Was gone. Uncle Ron had seen too much, and the silence was starting to eat at him. The man who once protected the Carters from the chaos outside their gates suddenly became the one dragging their secrets into the light. In his viral confession, he claimed everything: the fame, the image, even Blue Ivy's story, wasn't just destiny, it was design. "Nothing in that family happens by accident," he said. "Every headline, every photo, every leak, it's all part of the script." He said she was surrounded by enablers who made sure the public only saw perfection, not the pain. According to Uncle Ron, the polished image was just a mask hiding exhaustion, manipulation, and control. He claimed the same machine that built the Carter empire was now feeding off it, and that even Jay-Z knew exactly what was going on but chose silence over scandal. His social media accounts began disappearing, one by one. Posts were wiped, videos gone, comments disabled. People who had shared his claims started receiving cease and desist letters. Uncle Ron hinted that he was being watched, saying mysterious cars would park outside his home at night. To his followers, it looked like the Carters weren't just ignoring him, they were actively trying to erase him. Full-blown crusade. He began calling out names, dates, and alleged secret meetings, painting a picture of an industry run less like a music business and more like a shadow government. He claimed that what fans see, the awards, the tours, the glamorous family photos, is just a cover for $1 billion machine built on silence, control, and manipulation. Uncle Ron positioned himself as the whistleblower who'd seen it all, and now he was ready to burn bridges to expose it. Inner circle and a network of celebrities, executives, and even politicians who, according to him, had been untouchable for decades. He painted Diddy not as an isolated player, but as a key hub in a massive underground operation built on power, favors, and blackmail. Uncle Ron went as far as to suggest that the raids, the lawsuits, and the sudden flood of leaks weren't coincidences at all. They were the fallout from a system finally starting to crack. And in his words, once one domino fell, the rest would follow. Dark dealings and other top-tier industry players. And his claim that both Jay-Z and Diddy had been directly involved in the plot that led to the death of hip-hop legend. the notorious B.I.G., was absolutely shocking.
Jay-Z and Puffy wanted Biggie killed. Bottom line. You don't have to believe me, believe the
Uncle Ron didn't just hint at their involvement, he laid out chilling details. He spoke of secret meetings, hushed conversations, and even financial transactions he claimed to have personally witnessed while working security for both Jay-Z and Diddy. Then came the turning point. The timing of his final bombshell about Blue Ivy's parentage was no accident. As the Diddy investigation widened and more hidden truths started bubbling to the surface, Uncle Ron went all in, dropping what he called the most explosive secret of all: that the entire Carter legacy itself was built on a carefully hidden lie. Dynasty was built on a lie. In his final videos, you could see it, the tension in his face, the weight in his voice, the awareness that he was stepping into dangerous territory. But Uncle Ron stood firm. He said no threat, no payoff, and no legal team could buy his silence anymore. He claimed he had evidence, the kind that could shake the Carter empire to its core. He knew he was playing with fire, but he insisted that speaking the truth was worth every risk. According to him, the explosive claims about Blue Ivy came from years of watching, listening, and meticulously documenting. Uncle Ron said he overheard tense conversations between Jay-Z and Ty about their secretive arrangement. He said he saw interactions between Ty and Blue Ivy that felt far too natural, and even overheard fragments of financial conversations that went well beyond any normal business partnership. As his allegations grew louder, the walls started closing in. Industry lawyers came at him with threats. His old conviction, doubling down on every accusation. Each new post felt like a warning shot aimed at the powerful names he said were hiding the truth. The more they tried to erase him, the louder he got. Uncle Ron framed it as a battle between silence and truth, claiming he had nothing left to lose and everything to expose. Outside his home at odd hours, about unfamiliar faces lingering near his driveway, and phones clicking during his calls. His once calm demeanor shifted into paranoia mixed with urgency. Uncle Ron began posting late-night videos, his voice tense, warning that powerful people were closing in. Each live stream felt like a last message, a desperate attempt to get the truth out before it was too late. Near his home, about threats that felt far too real. He knew he had crossed lines that couldn't be uncrossed, but he refused to stop talking. The same man who once made a living protecting other people's secrets was now risking everything to expose them. Uncle Ron wasn't just stirring gossip. He was taking on an empire. And when you challenge people with that much power, the consequences aren't just lawsuits or money, they come in silence. His final video went live on September 13, 2024. And after that, everything went quiet.